Hey guys, welcome back to Evolving Mail. So today we are going to talk about the Street Triple. This is my 2020 Street Triple RS, and I've got some problems. So we're going to change the chain, and we're going to change both front and rear sprocket right after this. Okay guys, so thanks for coming back. So I've got a DID 520 ER V7 chain here, and I've got a rear and front sprocket, and this rear sprocket is actually 2 teeth bigger than this is a 48 tooth sprocket. The one that comes with the bike stock is a 46, so going up 2 teeth will give me maybe a little bit more torque down low. Probably won't notice much, but a little something. I could have gone smaller on the front sprocket, but I really wasn't trying to change a whole bunch. One of the big advantages, other than having a new chain versus what I'm about to show you, is that this chain is a 520. The bike comes with a 525, I think, and so it's thinner, it's a little lighter, sprockets are lighter, and it's a better chain, and it's gold, so that's cool. So I'm going to show you what I found here. So I was having trouble with this chain, keeping the chain tight, and I just came home the other day on the interstate, and I was going pretty fast, and so the chain looks kind of normal there, but if I spin the wheel around a little bit, and I get to here, it's loose. See how loose that is? Super loose. And then I come around, and then it's tight again, normal, and then loose. So what I was seeing is up here on the teeth, you can see my teeth. See how it's not a nice groove? If we take the new one, you can see the new one has a nice even groove to it. This one is not. This is wider than that. And as we turn the wheel here in a minute, we'll start to see. The other day I loosened it up a lot, but it was jumping on top of the teeth. You can see underneath there. See how it's not fitting in? If you look up here, the tooth, I don't know if you can see that or not, the tooth is not inside the middle of that, and it should be. See, I got a gap right there. If I come back, the gap's gone. Go there, it's gapped. This is bad. Right there, it gets tight. Big giant gap, and then it's crazy. So this is very dangerous. If this does it on your bike, it's very dangerous. And this happened relatively fast, because a month ago, I checked the sprockets out and they looked pretty good. And I was like, well, the chain's it's got about 18,000 miles on it. I've had the bike about a year and a half, got 18,000 miles on it, and it's probably about due for a chain pretty soon. And then I did the oil the other day, and I went to check the chain. It was super loose. I tightened it up, drove around the block, came back, it was super loose. I was like, what the hell? Drove around the block again, tightened it up, drove around the block, super loose, and then I tightened it up again, and drove around the block, and I was driving right down the street here, and it was super tight, and it was making all kinds of clunky, chunky noises. I come back, and that's when I determined that it was super tight there, and you turn it halfway around, it was super loose, and saw it was up on the sprocket there. It's time to change it. This ran me about $335. It is an upgrade over the stock. You can get the stock one for about $200, but this is a better chain and better sprockets, and they should last a lot longer. I do try to oil the chain pretty frequently. I drive a lot. I mean, you know, I drive over 100 miles a day to and from work, so it doesn't take long. But I do try to do the chain at least once or twice a month. But it still wore out, so it's crap. So we're gonna go with something better than stock. And first thing we're gonna do is put you on the stand here. So the first thing we gotta do is we need to take off the front sprocket. Yep, 8. It's not come off that easy. So we're going to take this off. Now I know a lot of people, I was running earlier, that's why I got some Daisy Dukes on here. Plus it's 1,000 degrees in Florida. And it's 1,000 degrees for 7 months out of the year. So I know a lot of people talk about, I watched some guy do this and they were taking off on YouTube, and they were taking off the quick shifter. I'm not taking off the quick shifter. Look at that. That's loose. So it's a good reason to mess with your bike every once in a while to find out whether stuff's loose or not. So we're going to tighten that up before we get too far. Anyway, a lot of people take off the quick shifter, disconnect it. You don't need to. You can yank this thing out. It's just plastic. Pull it out. There you go. Get these out, and all you gotta do is just kind of get in here and just getting it back on the bitch. But what I found is you got this little bundle. Stick the bundle in here and kind of go up through here. Stick the bundle at the same time and just bam, hit it, and you're good. Now, one thing I've noticed last time I looked at it, the front sprocket is kind of loose. That bolt isn't tight, even though there's a torque spec on that. And that's kind of weird. There is a locking tab, so it's not coming off, but kind of strange that it's like that. I looked up some stuff online, and some of you said the same thing. So I guess that's not too abnormal. But right now we're going to just shifter. It's loose right there a little bit, so it's an 8. So tighten that up. I did mess with that a while ago, but I thought it was tight. Another little tighten up. Okay, so that's on there. So now the wheel's spinning. Well, it would spin if it wasn't in gear, but what we're going to do is we're going to look how loose that nut is. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? Pretty crazy. So I don't know if you can see it. There is a locking tab on that. Let me take you in real quick. There is a locking tab right there. You see that? So it keeps it from turning. It ain't keeping it from turning a whole lot, but it's not. It's stopping it. That could be a little bit better. The tab is turned over like that from the factory. So we're gonna pry that up. This little hammer and a screwdriver, and then we're gonna work on getting that done. So bear with me. Put this back in gear so I can do this. Kind of got it up. I'm just gonna. Okay, so now we got a nice even spot. Put back in neutral. All right, and that nut has almost come off by hand. Try to go up from the bottom. That'll kind of hold it, and it falls out. You can do that. We're going to be going that way. So I'm going to hold this with my hand, with my foot. We are going to torque this down properly. It's not tight right now. It's coming right off. Right off. Got the nut. So it's got like an open end. The open end's going to go inward. So the flat end's on the outside. Go ahead and take off the lock collar, or the lock washer, I mean. You can see it's got little teeth on there to hold it in on the spline of the output shaft. Go ahead and pull this off. So what we're going to do is we're going to be looking for the master link. This isn't your normal bicycle chain master link. This master link has dimples on it. Right there. See how these are just like flattened out and these have dimples? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a grinder, we're going to grind that down, and we're going to press them out. Okay, so I got the grinder. I'm going to throw it in gear just to keep the, let me turn this around about there. I'm going to throw it in gear just to keep the wheel from moving. I'm going to grind these off. I should have glasses on, but I don't. But I'll just watch my eyes. So we're just going to take the chain brake, and it's got like a, you can see that nub in there. Screw it down, get it out of the way. Go ahead and put this over, put the nub on top of one of the pins here. It's hard to see it, but there is a hole. Just put it on the hole. I'm going to screw this out. Okay, so take it out of gear. I'm going to swing it around here. do it in the dead zone. Same thing. I can get a bite on it. Put the kickstand out of the way. If I had this up on a tall stand. Just working. Alright, we got that. That side's out. We got the outside cover off. Outside cover came off. Push that through. Just like that. O-ring's dropping all over the place. Go ahead and pull the chain off. Put it back in neutral so we can just pull the chain out. Possibly. Oh, it's not. Chain comes right out. There you go. There's our chain. Now you can kind of see that? See how the links are doing that? Here, you got a kink. Here you get a kink. Got a slight kink there. So that means your chain's getting wore out. Chain is definitely wore out. It's tight in places. Look at that, super tight right there. I should have replaced this chain a couple thousand miles ago probably. Take the chain, we're gonna stick it out of the way. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take off this right here. So what I got is a 27 millimeter on a breaker bar and a cheater pipe. Just gonna, so see it's loose, and that's because I had it loose from the other day when I was screwing with it. I never tightened it all the way up. When I determined that I needed to change the chain out, it's loose. So rather than fight it all the way around. Okay, so now what you need to do is you need to make a mental note of how you're taking everything off. So we're taking this off, we're taking this off. This is going to slide off. Threads look okay. Some goop on there. So it goes like that. You got your adjuster, your washer, and your bolt on one side, and you got spacers down in here, so you do need to watch how they're coming off. Alright, now we got to just push the axle out to the other side. We're going to support the tire. Pull the axle all the way out. We're going to put our hands kind of in harm's way a little bit and try to catch anything that comes out. Just kind of let the brake caliper sort of swing out of the way. So on this side, this obviously the step is going to go in like that, so if it falls out, that's how that goes. And you got your, this is your speed indicator here. It counts the speed. You've got a speed sensor here for analog brakes, so that's that. Over here you got the same thing. You've got a clean side and a dirty, or well, clean side. So clean side is going to go in, but we don't even have to really mess with that. But what we do have to mess with is we have to take this sprocket off. I'm going to take everything off of the impact if it'll come off. Put it back on by hand. Put these down here. Take our rear sprocket off, and if you look for it on the sprocket somewhere, it tells you how many teeth is here, and it says it somewhere, because I already looked at it, 48T right there. 48T. So there's the sprocket. We're going to keep this out for a minute so I can show you what the other looks like in comparison. Open our pack up, take our other sprocket out now. So weight wise, this is supposed to be super light. Weight wise, this one might actually be a little bit heavier because it is bigger, but it's thinner too. You can see the difference because it's different teeth. But you can see the way, you can see these teeth. See how they're jacked up? Like these teeth are glossy on the tops of some of them, and you can see the difference. We put this one in front. They are different. They're different diameter, but if you put your teeth up, if you put the teeth up there, you can see a little bit of walled. These are walled out a little bit. You can kind of tell. There's definitely some bad marks there. And again, this is a 48 tooth, so we're going up 2. We're going to put this right back on like this, right on the bottom. Put the nuts back on, and I'm probably going to go ahead and put some Loctite on here, just a little bit of blue Loctite to start. And then I'm going to get the nuts put on, and I'm going to grab my torque wrench, and we're going to torque them down, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I got some blue Loctite, that's the medium Loctite. Got all the nuts on there, Loctite on, cleaned it up a little bit. I've got the torque wrench down to, the spec on this says 33 Newton meters, which is in foot-pounds, I don't know what that is, 25 I think. So this torque wrench goes down to 34 Newton meters, so we're good there. I ran them down just easily with the impact, so I'm curious to see how tight that was. We're gonna come back here, hold our tire with our feet, our hands. That's over tight right there. It's just a clicking kind, so it clicks, that's good. I'm doing the star pattern. Forget anything? Okay, so those are good. Everything's good. Our torque wrench up there. When you're done with the torque wrench, you should always take the torque off of it, you know, the pressure off the spring. But we're not done with it. It won't hurt it that quickly. Now we're going to put this tire back up. Okay. You don't really have any spacers to worry about. The only thing you got to worry about is getting this brake caliper up there, and the brake caliper just kind of slides in. There's a slide right here, it goes into this hole. It's pretty easy. I just knocked off the pad. That's just a floating caliper. Knock off the pad. I'm going to push the master cylinder back in to make my life easier. I'm just going to open the C clamp up. And put this piece on top the outside of the inner pad. Don't damage anything. I'm going to push that master cylinder back in. Push the fluid back to the reservoir. Just make my life easier. Now I got lots of room. Pads to get out of the way. If I could just get this one pad to stay in that groove, my life would be easier. The Insta360 camera just likes to shut off for no apparent reason sometimes. No rhyme or reason behind it, it just shuts off. Okay, I'm going to line up the hole there. Okay, like I was saying before the camera shut off, see the ring, that's going to be outside, the point's going to go towards the front. Like that. Continue putting your stuff together. Okay, then we got our washer. We'll put our nut on the other way. We are not going to tighten it up this way. We're not going to tighten it up yet. Okay, now we got that. So next, we got to move on to the rear sprocket, or the front sprocket rather. I'm going to move you guys a little bit. So we got our sprocket. Sprocket comes right off. Then we got our new front sprocket. It's cellophaned in place. You can see the difference in the sprocket. This sprocket, this one here, the stock one has like an this thing on the end is supposed to be like a rubber thing, anti-dampener or something. I don't know that it really does anything, but it comes out like that. This one is smaller. It's got the same amount of teeth. They are, however, in much better shape. I mean, the front sprocket's not that bad. It's the rear sprocket that was kind of bad, and the chain mostly, but it is thinner. It's definitely lighter. Put that sprocket back on just like that. Put it in there like that. Take our locking tab. Put those little shark teeth things right here. They're gonna go right inside there like that. I don't think there's a. Make sure I got this. Yeah, I had it on there backwards. So you want this little ring to the outside, because you can tell that because there's writing out here to tell you how many teeth are on it. And it's a 16 tooth. There, that's better. Ring goes in there like that. And the nut. Remember? Do you guys remember? Do I remember? And it goes like that because you got this ring that's going to press on that ring. So it's easy. Just thought I'd ask. Just to see if you're watching. I'll put that tab back at the top so I can get to it. Now that I move the tab, the question is, am I going to tighten it down properly? On that I don't see. So I'm going to go ahead and run this down. And I'm going to have to tighten that down when we get the chain on there because I can't do it right now. Okay. So next up is the chain. This is the fun part. Take our pretty chain out. There's going to be some loose stuff in here probably, so be careful. There you go. So we got the master link pin and this pretty gold chain. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and feed this chain in from the back, I guess. Come up through here. Turn the wheel to help you. Put this back in neutral. You can run around. Chain back around. Okay, so you'll see the chain is not excessively long. So I've got 2 links in there. The one master link and the other is the link for the chain. So what that means is we got to turn, this is all the way out, we got to go in. I got to get the proper wrenches, guys. So the chain tensioner bolt and nut have 2 different sizes. One's a 13, one's a 12. I believe the nut, the bolt is a 12 and the nut is a 13, the lock nut. And there are torque specs for this, but for the life of me, I don't know how the hell you're supposed to pull that one off. These are going to be a little gummy because I put some Loctite on them. And yeah. So we basically just got to get this nut to come not all the way back, but pretty far. I'm going to go ahead and loosen these up and I'll come back to you in a second. Okay guys, so I got the slack adjusters up, I pushed the tire up, I've got the 2 pieces of chain right here, well I had them 1 link away until I moved it. Let's see. Right together, they're right together. I've got lots of slack in the chain, but not, it seems like a lot, but I got a long way to move back. So we're going to open this up. Open this up. You want to make sure you don't lose your O-rings, okay? Or in this case, they're called X-rings. I don't know why they're called X-rings because they're O's. So somebody knows why they're called. Or maybe X-rings are different. I thought this was an X-ring chain. It is an X-ring chain. Why they call it X-ring, I don't quite understand. So we need to get our rings out without losing them or getting them filthy. Get our link out. So we got our master link here, okay. And this is a little thing of grease. So we're gonna just tear this off. So we're just going to take this nice white grease stuff, we're going to grease them up. Put some grease on there. We're going to put 1 on here. And we'll put 1 on the other side after we grease it up. Okay. Nice and greased. Push it through like that. We're going to do the same thing to the other O-rings. Put some grease on this. Grease these up. Some good old-fashioned grease. Put that one on that one. So they're basically in between the 2 outside plates. And then the other thing I got for this, so there are some tools involved. This is the most expensive one, and this is the tool for setting this. So if you look at the directions, it'll tell you to insert the plate holder into the large pressure bolt hole and position a connecting link inside the plate. So we're going to drop it like that. This pin right here, oh yeah, there it is, comes out. So you got this piece. This was a this is their super light crimping tool. So this piece comes out. I didn't yank on it. So we're going to take this right here, we're going to put that in there, push it in, okay, and we're going to get it to a place where we might be able to do this. So first thing we have to do, this is a really tight fit, so we need to put the outside plate of the master link right there, okay? And then we're gonna open this up until we can cover the distance, and then we are going, let me see if I can get you in. So we're gonna cover this plate up, we're gonna put this flat part to the back, and we're gonna run this plate in. Get that down, and then this is just a handle. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that, we need a 17 millimeter wrench, which I happen to have right here. And we're going to press that plate onto the pins. We can hold it steady long enough to do that. So it really shouldn't take too much. And we're basically just going to push that plate in until the plates line up with the other ones. Don't over torque. Doesn't take too much to do. Okay, so roll this back around. And see, that one went in all the way and this one didn't, so we're gonna, which I knew was a possibility, so I'm just gonna, and you want to get this gap right there over top the pin, which it may not have been perfectly over top of the pin when I just did that, so. Well, apparently it wasn't because it didn't work, so. It's going now. So what we have here is we got both of those pins sticking through. So we're good. Both the pins are sticking through. There's about, I don't know, a millimeter and a half sticking through. So the next thing is we're going to take this plate off. I'm going to pop this plate. Maybe. Alright, then we're going to take the tip, the crimping tip right there. See that? I'm going to put it back in here where it came from. Okay, and now we're going to locate the ones we have. We know which ones they are because they got grease on them, and they're not these, they're just whatever. We're going to put the flared tip in the master link. Tighten down. Okay, well, the best laid plans. I had a pair of calipers and I thought I brought them home and I did not. So what you want to do is you want to spread this out to where it's oh boy, it's hard to see. So the pin's about 5 millimeters. It's 5 millimeters. You want to flare it out between 5.5 and 5.8, but you don't want to go too much because you can damage it, crack it. So we're gonna try it. seen this done online, and it's not, it doesn't take a ton to do it. Yeah, that tip of that other thing definitely broke inside of that. That's disheartening because I didn't really do anything to it. And this one's bending too. This is such bullshit. It was like a $65 tool. And it's just breaking. So I don't know if I'm getting full pressure on there. Gotta love it. Gotta love the shit. See how that's bending that? Because that other tip was in there and I can't get it out. Now that one's in there and I can't get it out. So the top layer looks pretty good. The bottom one doesn't look horrible, but I want to make it better. Okay guys, so there's the flare. I've checked it up close with the camera. It's flared out. The tool did kind of break, but I managed to make it work. This is a one-use tool. I don't have the calipers. I will check it on the calipers Monday when I get to work with my calipers, but I did check it with a millimeter tape measure, and it's, you know, 5 slashes are a millimeter, 5 millimeters, and then it's not quite 6. It's like 3/4 of the way through. So that's looking up close in a phone. So it's about 5 3/4. So that's 5 1/8. It's as much as it needs to be. It says 5 1/2 to 5 1/8. So it looks good. There's no cracks. So I'm pretty satisfied that that's okay. Now the next thing I need to do is torque up the. I need to torque the main nut there. Okay guys, so according to the interwebs, it's 85 Newton meters on a 36 millimeter bolt. So what I did is I stuck a like a broom handle through the thing right there. Help me out. And just trying to scratch the shit out of my bike. Snap the handle of that. Look at that. But it clicked, so that's all that matters. It clicked, got that. So now what I need to do, if you guys were paying attention before, I need to bend this tab, hit the camera, bend the tab back over, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. Bending the tab back. Let's see if I can do it. Try not to F my bike up. Just because I'm a overkill kind of guy, we're going to do it over here too. You can see it's flipped over on 2 tabs, so it is not going anywhere. So now what we're going to do is we're going to adjust it back here like we're doing a normal chain adjustment. Thank you. Okay, so we're just back these up. Okay guys, so I've got the chain tightened. I put a little Loctite on the jam nut, I've got it down to about 25 millimeters. It's 20 to 30 is what the spec says, so I did 25. Tightened the rear axle up to 110 Newton meters, but I gave a little bit more because it don't feel like much. So I want a little bit more. It's pretty much done. All we gotta do now is put probably the worst part of the whole thing on here. And how I do this, I just throw this up in here like that. Kind of have to. It's such a pain in the ass. You kind of have to tuck the back end in a little bit, and then you got to squeeze these cables into this. So what I'm going to do is, for this cover, I'm going to use a zip tie. I'm going to put a zip tie behind this group of wires. I'm not going to zip it, I'm just going to pull it like this. Pull it out. I'm going to push this in. It gets hung up on that bolt right there, so you're going to have to pop it up. And you got that in there. There you go. Got all the wires tucked in nice and tight. And it's easier if you put the bottom one on first, I found. Just a tad bit. And then get the top one. Same thing goes, push the shifter down to get in behind it. Push that in. Don't pinch that wire. Your life will get worse. Let's put your foot up on there. And tighten this up. Anyway, guys, so got that back on. Everything's tight. Everything sounds fantastic. Brand new chain. Everything's good. All I got to do now is I'm going to take it for a ride, come back, check it, and then put some lube on that chain. Probably some wax lube. If you guys got any recommendations of what kind you like to use, let me know. Thanks for watching. Hope this helped answer any questions you had. I would say don't buy the super light version of this tool, but other than that, chain seems pretty good. Just have to give you an update later and let you guys know. Really appreciate it. Please hit like and subscribe. If this helped you at all, if it entertained you in some fashion, hit that like button. There's plenty more videos. I got Jeep videos, I got bike videos, I got anything I feel like doing really. I am the Evolving Male, and thanks for just stopping by. As always, peace out. Okay guys, so some final thoughts on this. So the bike is running excellent. The extra 2 teeth in the back, I do notice some more torque coming out of the bike, in the low range especially, and it did make a difference. Somebody else mentioned this on Facebook, and it does make a difference when you're in those low gears. Like, I'm not shifting up and down between first and third in heavy traffic. I'm able to ride the gear out a little bit, and it is making it easier. Even first gear, it doesn't lug like it would before. It rides better, rides fantastic. Speedometer's off, doing like 80. It's off about 3 miles an hour less, so it's actually 77, which I guess is a good thing because makes me think I'm going faster. But other than that, I don't know if there's any way to change that. If anybody knows any way to change that, to correct that, let me know. But I don't think there is an easy way. But anyway, ride's great. I think it looks good. I love the gold chain. I love the look. Chain is just where it needs to be. Everything looks good. Everything's working fine. No problems. That's it. Thanks for checking me out. Again, hit like and subscribe. See you guys later.